Way too much glare. There we go. That's a stupid ad. Had way better ads before. What are these garbage ads that they're putting on here now? That's just me wine-bagging. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this episode of COVID and Coffee. Still working on the DR10. I've obviously got to get rid of that. That light in the background's blowing up the camera. Oh, come on. That's better. I think that's way better. Jack Brazier. Already. The stream hadn't even started. Jack Brazier's already tossing money into the pot here. Do as you please. Thank you, sir. I just want to make sure I get all this information down. And that's a whatever. Any. All right, so let's see who was here first. So we had Trash Nigger right at 9:56. Apparently I got called into work today, so I'm going to miss. That's all right, man. That's all right. Maybe something. I appreciate that, Trash Nigger. So we got Justin O'Neill, Jerry VRC. What is going on now? Did you change? You changed your name now because it used to be Jury, right? Unless I was reading it wrong the whole time. I thought it was Jury. Gold Goose Gaming, what's going on, man? Matthew D, what's happening? Amped RC is here. And then right at 10:15, who got it? Justin O'Neill did. It's funny, it's like all of a sudden everybody hammers it right at that 10:15. Well, not everybody, but close enough. Let's try some more. Got my fingers crossed for you. Make my donation. Go to Sponges on. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so now obviously we have, like we had discovered last night, we have tire issues. So, and I guess I'm not surprised. It's one of those things where with drag racing, obviously there's certain components that are probably going to wear out faster than others, and then the obviousness of crashing probably doesn't help things as well. So right now the left side rear tire is bent, the front side right tire is bent, so we've got two opposite wheels that are bent. The driver's side or the left side front wheel's fine. This one has always been kind of messed up from the factory. It's actually it's actually more of the actual wheel. So when you see that, I don't know if that's spinning too fast for the frame rate, but that's been always out. And I kind of thought I could deal with that, but with the rear. Can't deal with the rear having a bubble now. So, and what I couldn't tell, I had slowed down, obviously that video, I had slowed down some of the footage. You can actually see the body pulsating because it was off, and it took me a while to try to like figure out at the time in the video what was going on. And then realizing that I had thought the foam had doubled over, but apparently it didn't. So And it's funny that, granted, it's a different set of tires with Earl. So Earl's tires, which he was running the Hoosiers, he ended up with a hot spot on his, which has nothing to do with mine, but it just goes to show you that, you know, with, I guess, what we're just doing is generally using these vehicles, using the tires, those parts are going to be replaced or need to be replaced. And I think I don't know. I feel it's premature though. At least for my tires, I feel it's premature. We are gonna throw these on, like we talked about last night. Gotta get rims for those, so that's not gonna be a problem. Hopefully we can square that away today, I'm not sure. Um, I actually did try seeing if I could locally source a fuel pump for the Jaguar, so that's kind of an update too with that. And apparently, because of what the car is, the fuel pump isn't local. So, but what do I need to change on this car to get it to go straight? So number one, obviously, tires and wheels in the back. Um, I do still want to swap, I think, the shocks front to back. So the rear shocks right now are the same stock fluid, which is probably that 20 to 25 weight. Somebody had mentioned that it was 30, but when I dipped the screwdriver into the oils, I could tell that, at least from my eyes, it looked as though my oil was significantly lighter. Granted, the backs were not leaking from the factory, so who knows? Maybe somehow my back shocks are a different oil. It just seemed kind of odd that the front shocks leaked and the back didn't. So I kind of didn't understand that one. But that's kind of going backwards in this whole scenario. So I did throw a couple of shims in the back just to raise up that rear end. I do want to somehow figure out some type of weight transfer towards that back. You like think like a whole bunch of things in your head. How can I get that? How can I get that weight? If I'm gonna stay consistent with that battery, how can I get that weight from the middle of the car to the back? And it's like the only way I think I could do it is by kicking the battery up and like laying it on the shock tower. But then I'm moving the wires, which is no big deal. I could put the wires back down to where it was before and just get like maybe an elongated strap and then put a piece of foam somehow in there. I don't know. Maybe do a proprietary battery, like maybe make that battery proprietary for it, put a piece of foam on the bottom so that it kind of stays in place. I don't know. Kind of can't hack things, you know what I mean? At least you're not supposed to. Sean's RC Adventures, what's going on, man? Didn't even have to say Earl 3 times this time. He's right there. Doesn't seem like both tires are spinning equally. I feel like they probably are now. Now that I have 1 million in that rear diff, but that's going to change because we're throwing this in. So I am going to be throwing in a locker. That was the whole point of getting that. That way I'm just not wasting my time trying to figure out spring pressure to try to make this thing launch even. I feel like it'll take that one extra thing out of the equation that I just don't want there. Throwing this together though, the wonderment was, even though this is a lock, should I put some type of something inside this? And I know it's kind of weird to say as a lubricant, but I suppose it depends upon how tightly fitted the pins are on this spool. And then again, same thing, how tightly fitted that pin will be, locking that into place on this actual housing right here. So I don't know. I might do it dry. I might do it just like a little bit of something in there, like just maybe a little bit of oil or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. I suppose if I do oil, all it's going to do is sling anyway. So maybe that's not a good idea. And then obviously not even needing maybe this gasket, I don't know. Probably might need it as a spacer. That's something I didn't think about. That gasket probably would serve as a spacer, so I guess it doesn't make a difference. And then hopefully this Robinson Racing gear will help smooth out that odd little tick that I was getting in that mold from that gear, because the idler gear was defective, like what we knew already. And I did take the gear itself and I tossed it into the transmission today just to make sure that it was actually going to fit. Yeah, it's right here. So I just wanted to make sure that I did get the right one, because for some reason I was thinking, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, geez, this thing actually looks massive, but it's really not. The gear mesh itself is slightly bigger. Oops. Thank you. So the gear itself, not the mesh, but the width of the gears is slightly bigger on that hot racing one, which obviously it doesn't make a difference, but it was just something that I had noticed. Excuse me. Definitely does have a nice feel though. That gear into that gear. So I think some of the plans are, while I don't know, I'm not sure, man. Number one, I point blank need to replace the tires and wheels in the back. So we'll get that squared away today. Obviously working on the Jag is a no-go, because obviously, you know, sourcing the fuel pump somewhere else, I'm not going to drive, 200 miles just to go get a pump. Thank you, man. Yeah. Yeah. So I think for right now, there is no point in running the car right now, because obviously, what is the point? I will not be able to get a straight launch just because of that bubble in that tire. Probably doesn't help that I keep doing those power slides, but some of the power slides are unintentional, and some of them are just, I think, by like habit. And you have to break yourself of that, because with a tire that's going to wear so like easily, you just got to take your time. I have to take my time. I have to stop being impatient. So, are you taking off?
Yeah.
All right. It's like do you ever just have one of those days, man, where it seems like nothing's gonna like coincide? The stars are not gonna align. The stars definitely aren't aligning today. It was crazy because for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was going on with the car, other than maybe I had somehow folded or wrapped up the foam or something. And then, like I said, it was kind of funny that, Earl's car did a similar thing. But he's obviously definitely beating his car, um, launching it, beating it, launching it way better than I am right now. But I'm getting close. It's getting close. I definitely think that I'm not liking, like I had said, the shock setup in the front. That weight oil just is not working. So right now, being a colder day today, like even in the house it's colder. Now when I lift up the front wheels, they're literally hardly dropping now at all. Where before they were dropping nice. So I think maybe with that thicker shock oil, seeing that the shocks front and back are the same. Obviously, the oddity of my springs, one spring set being shorter than the other, which was kind of weird. Swap those springs, take that fuel tubing and stick it, basically just swap everything out. Make it so that, it's, I guess, ready. So that's probably what I should do now while I'm kind of like waiting here. Just kind of swap things out. Because it just bugs me about the fuel pumps, though. I don't want today to be a waste of a day, and it already seems like it's kind of being that. And I don't like waste of days. All right. Shouldn't. Actually, I probably don't need to pop that off like that, right? No. So how is everybody this morning? CT Chris, what's going on, man? George Selman, what's going on, brother? Yeah, there goes the battery. Yeah, but these tires, man, they're even starting to feel a little thin. Maybe they'll still be good for drag bug. I got the wrong one here. I think I do. Am I missing one? I think I'm missing one. Hello. I think I'm missing one of these drivers. Here it is. What's up? Trying to figure out something.
I was trying to ask your opinion on something.
On a what?
Phone?
Oh, a phone. What are you thinking about getting?
I'm actually thinking about not getting a Note.
Yeah? Just like a Galaxy?
The Galaxy S10.
Yeah. Now, what's making you not want to get the Note?
I was watching reviews.
Yeah.
And I don't use the
Pen. Yeah.
Really. Once in a while I use it.
Right.
But I don't if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be like, oh, I wish I had a pen.
Right. You used to. You used to use it a lot.
But I don't
anymore.
Yeah, and I also, I got the phone when I was a 16-year-old.
Yeah. I still use mine, which is pretty crazy.
Well, it's crazy because I have, I guess, such an old model, quote unquote, old. I don't really think it's that old.
No, it's not. Mind your phone's not old, but I think in the way of
I have
equipment.
Well, especially with storage, because
I know.
You don't have the micro SD thing.
Right.
This one does.
The S10? Yeah. What does Matt have?
I have no clue.
I think Matt has an S10.
Does he?
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, my phone has 36 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah.
And this phone, the low one, has 128.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which probably its operating system will take half of that.
Well, even if it does, it's still more than I have.
Right.
And I think it's so stupid. There are only two options. It's either the 128 one.
Have I figured out why it wants to veer left? For some reason, it seems like when I get higher traction, it veers left. Some people were saying they thought it was the not the crust, whatever it is, the hump in the road of my street. They were saying it seemed like when I was on the left side, that obviously would hook left. When I was on the right side, it would hook right. But most of the time, I was either to the middle or to the slight left. When I would have less heat to the tires, it seemed to want to hook right. When I would, I think, I mean, I'm not a pro here. I think if I over-temped the tires, if things were too sticky or too warm, then it would want to go left. And then there were times when literally it was full trigger, no steering, straight like exacting launch, which was, it was an awesome thing to see. But I think it's trying to figure out, what's the right balance. What's the right balance between the heat and the temperature outside. Like there's a lot of factors that I think I didn't realize would have affected how this car goes. And I mean, like today, Alexa, what's the temperature today?
Right now, it's 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so that's why
Today,
my
it's
shocks are
set to
acting like
56
garbage.
degrees. Have a good morning, Tim.
Have a good morning to you as well. So,
Good morning. Today is Plant a Vegetable Garden Day.
hey, look at that.
Here's a joke to celebrate.
No thanks.
What's the stubbornest vegetable of them all?
Oh my god.
The
What?
keys to resistance.
What? Every once in a while, we'll have a conversation with Alexa. Yeah, I guess. And I'm actually okay with this. I'm okay with all these, I guess, failures because, in a sense, maybe it's not total failures that I'm experiencing. I feel in some ways I'm learning some stuff. I'm really not faulting the car. I'm probably faulting myself more than the car. I see inherent issues with the design of this, which kind of I feel doesn't make sense, but I get it because they're taking something that was that short course and whatever. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to swap out basically all this stuff. So I'm going to just toss my front springs on the back, and I'm going to put my, not springs, sorry. My front shocks are getting swapped to the back, which they're not leaking anymore. So front springs are getting swapped to the back. The reason for that is the weight fluid that I have in this is a 70. And people were telling me that you might want a thicker fluid in the back. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to see what happens. What happens if I toss a thicker fluid in the back? Can I have a, actually, I've got this. And obviously make sure that, my springs, like I said, that oddity of how, I mean, that's a good distance on springs. Well, actually, wait a minute. No, I already swapped them out, so never mind. I'm not showing you something. I'm leaving these springs, right? Yes. So these springs are going to go to the rear shocks now. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I'm still waking up. But what I am going to do, like I said, I'm just swapping my shocks just to see what happens. Keeping the springs the same. I still want to stay with my idea. Because I think in my head that it works. The only way I'm going to know is to try it. So, pop that off there. That's going to go on this one. Hopefully I don't get confused here. Right. It'll also, having the lighter fluid in the front, at least my theory is that it will actually kind of make the front end a little bit lighter, I'm feeling, which I think I need. I think I need the front end to be, yeah, this is the real one. Lighter, so that I'm not carrying the wheels right now. At least that's what I'm seeing in my head. Again, I could be wrong. But that's the cool part about all of this, is that, you know, it's your vehicle, so you do whatever you feel is going to help you, you know. So I'm going to toss that on like that. Make sure that little thing is on there. And so now this is the rear shock with the front spring. So I just want to make sure that that stays just like that. Now this is that's the rear. So now this is the front shock, which I'm just going to pull that shim out of there for now. Front shock with the rear spring. So how about if I put the eyelid on first? That'd probably help. And I feel as though I've had enough consistent runs with the car to know whether if this was going to make a difference. Yeah? What?
Do you think
That you should get the S10? Does
No.
does it have the headphone jack and all
Yeah.
that stuff? Yeah.
the Note doesn't?
The Note 10? Yeah, I know. That's why
That's so stupid.
well, that's why I was going to go with a Note 9 if I ever upgraded. But I mean, that's also that thing where everything is always moving forward, so how do you know which thing to go with? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I know that I don't want wireless headphones now, period. So
Right.
that's my decision.
iPods.
iPods?
No, not iPod.
Earpods.
AirPods? They're not called earpods?
No, they're called AirPods.
AirPods? Yeah. That's rough, man, because
Stupid, pretentious, expensive.
yeah, all of that. It's those things are expensive, man, and I've lost, and I don't have AirPods or earpods or whatever you want to call them, but I've had a similar thing in my ear, and it's fallen out, and I didn't even realize it fell out.
My ears are small, so headphones always fall out
Right.
because they're too big, so they don't fit in.
Right.
Constantly have to push them back. It's really annoying.
You think lighter fluid is dangerous? It can catch fire.
Do you think that's a good, like, because if I do that, because there are only two options. There's this one, the 128,
128 gigabyte.
$500.
Yeah.
It's unlocked $500.
Yeah.
That one
Unlocked is definitely the better way to go.
That one is
Where are you looking?
$50 more. Samsung.
Right on Samsung? Okay. That's probably the best way.
I think that's a good capacity, right? Yeah. I mean, it's way better than what I have.
You know what? You need to forward think.
Okay, explain to me.
Well, if your phone right now, one of your drawbacks that you don't like is the fact that your memory is
Yeah, my 36 gigabyte phone
right.
has bad memory. Of course it does. You know,
Right.
it's only 36 gigabytes
Right.
for everything on my phone. And it doesn't go out to anything else.
Right now, I'm just making sure that I put the eyelets at the same height. It looks like they're the same height.
And besides getting the 512 one, it's an extra $250.
Right.
I feel like that's too much for what it is. You know?
But do you consider your phone as your most used device? You gotta think about it that way too. It's crazy,
Certain things on my phone.
right? But it's crazy what a phone has become nowadays. A phone is literally the most used, probably.
Thing you own.
Yeah, it's even used more than a coffee maker in a house.
Obviously. It just seems like
Now this is my own theory, with using a shorter spring was just to, I don't know. It's just a theory. I don't even know if it's a plausible theory, but I feel like in some ways it is. Yeah, right there. So those big shims in the front. I feel like just in my head, it's a go. I don't know. It seems to work. I don't know why, but it does seem to work. I'm just gonna go with that. Throw this eyelet on there. There is an auto parts store that was right next to Reckless Hobbies too today. When I was gonna go down and get the rims, hopefully they have it. I should probably give them a call at least just to see if they have the J Concepts, but it's also not a bad thing to go for a ride too. Let's make sure that these are even. And they are not. I must have wound this one up a little higher or further in. That's weird. I think like what I was saying before, I did not realize how particular this stuff is. Now that looks pretty close. But it's good though, because it's giving my brain a tune-up. You know? It's making me realize I know nothing about tuning. And I thought I did. Nope. Not when it comes to this stuff, man. Ooh, that sounds crunchy. But again, I'm all right with that. It's a funkiness right there. What is that? The spring is like shifting. Okay, it's better. Looks like it's settled down now. Front, rears. Just put one of those shims in this, I think. The smaller shim. Just see what a shim does. Just again, starting over from zero. Eventually I'll get it. it's not really starting over from zero. I mean, it kind of is, but in my head, it's not. But just because it's in my head doesn't mean it's also right. And then we were still going with its highest position, meaning its longest amount of travel is still what I'm going with. Amazingly, these front arms, maybe it's just the plastic. Maybe the plastic has flexed enough or has enough sponge in it that I haven't had any issues recently with these screws. Initially, I was having obviously those thread shred issues with my screws here, but right now it actually seems like it's okay. Mitchell's RC, what's going on, brother? Thank you for that. Thank you, sir. That'll go. That'll literally go to wheels today. It's going to wheels. If I can get the shock in. There we go. I think it's that eyelet. Every once in a while, the eyelet just doesn't line up. So I was going to the inboard one for max travel. I think the only drawback to getting the J concept wheels, in my mind, was I had thought about getting the Proline Split 6, the beadlock ones. Only reason being is because obviously, you know, once you Earl, thank you, sir. Keep it up. Yeah, it's a fight, man. It's a fight, but I'm definitely learning, man. But those split 6 beadlock wheels, I was talking to Earl a little bit about those, and the negative that he said on those wheels is that once you start really putting power to those rims, they have a tendency to throw the tire off. Is this tightening? No, it's not even tightening. What's going on here now? And obviously, I don't want that to happen. But also, that guy, Full Throttle RC, that I was telling you guys about, he made, he 3D printed rings, new rings that, like, I don't know how many screws that it took. And I don't know exactly how he did it. I'll have to look at those split 6s just to see how he... Ah, this is bad. What's going on here? Something's going on. But I like the concept of... having the beadlocks because, you know, in a sense, I'm kind of cheaper because instead of, you know, ruining a set of, you know, new wheels, I feel like if I got those split 6s, at least if I wanted to change tire compounds, I feel as though in my head that it would be more economical. So instead of just swapping out a whole wheel and tire setup, come on, get on there. That swapping out, just taking off the bead locks, you know what I mean, and then just popping the rim off. But with those 3D printed rings that Full Throttle RC guy made, he's putting a good amount of power down on his cars, and he's having no pullouts. So to me, that kind of seemed a little interesting. And I think he had said that he was going to release a STL file, but he never did. So the other thing that I don't like is I don't feel I like how loose the shocks are. Still, yeah, that is better. I guess that's how I want it to be. We'll see how that works. Maybe it will. Yeah, I mean it's loose enough. Maybe those rear shocks were a 30 weight. So, and then we'll toss the back ones on here. Sanded pine needles and everything coming out of my car. Because I was taking it off-road, just not on purpose. Thing was totally going off-road. It's just not paying attention to where the actual car's going and watching the footage. And what hole was I in on this? I don't remember. Looks like I was on the outer hole. So we'll throw it on that. I think it was the outer. Yeah, seems like it was. When you have 3 minutes, until your next race, having spare sets is key. Right, and that's the stuff that I don't know. So I'm not that kind of a racer, so I guess I see the point in that. So seeing that I'm not a racer, probably the bead locks is the way to go. Again, I don't ever intend on this thing to keep going slow. The intent is as I move forward, which you get a little frustrated, but it's not a bad frustration. It's the lack of preparedness. I should have already had a whole new set of tires and wheels, probably all ready to go. And that way I wouldn't be wasting this time that I'm doing right now. When I go to the hobby shop, I should probably get a couple of sets of wheels or whatever. Maybe get a J concept, maybe glue on a tire. I don't know. Indecisiveness. Sometimes you have to, I guess, stop being indecisive and just pull the trigger. But this still has been one of the better decisions that I've made for an RC car. I keep saying it, but for me it has, because I really have thoroughly enjoyed, up until right now, I really have thoroughly enjoyed working on this thing, having this thing teach me. Earl, I had a question for you. What size 3S pack are you running? And does it fit in the slot? Are you using like a real, how do I say it this way? Are you using like a real battery pack where I'm using, a Ovonic Air that I just can't, I feel like it's heavy. I feel like this pack is probably too heavy. Like maybe if I could do that thing where I could switch it back, you know what I mean? I kind of want to do something along those lines. Do you know what I mean? And then just somehow Velcro it to the shock tower or something. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I should just put the battery like that. Just literally take a Velcro strap and just strap it to my motor wires. And there you go. Just put like a piece of foam like right here. I wonder if the body will fit on like that. Probably won't. Nah, it doesn't. You're using same 3S I use in my Basher's Electron Pro 52. So it's a lighter weight battery, right? Because I'm running at 419.5 grams, I think. It seemed consistent weighing on this battery was 419. And I just feel like I want the weight here, not so much forward. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just too, I've got too much front end weight. Maybe if I had it like that, you know? Probably would fit. I should probably just rig it up. I should probably just rig it up just like this somehow. Maybe strap down the wires. This is just going to be a fire hazard. Strap down the wires like that. So now the battery pack can't go forward. Get a Velcro strap and strap it to my shock towers right there. That actually might work. Because there is a hole. Well, no, it's not really a hole. Just put my battery pack like that. That actually might help. I might have to try that. Keeping that strap right there will stop the battery pack from going forward. And then if I get a strap and then just strap it to the shock towers there, it's worth a shot. You know, what's the worst thing that could happen? A fire? Strap it to the wheelie bar. Yeah. Yeah, there's enough room. Probably could. Just get an extra long wire pigtail. Strap it to the wheelie bar. Zippy tie, yeah. Yep. If you want your battery weight, as low. Yeah, I know, but I can't do anything about that. If I already have the battery weight down low right there, do you know what I mean? Because of the pack I'm using, you know, I don't need an 8,000 milliamp pack, but it's all I've got. So, I don't know. It's just thinking, you know what I mean? I still want to try it. I can definitely feel that there's a weight difference right now. It's not massive, but you know what it could do? Hey, I got an idea. I can use my scale. I can use that scale that I just got. That's a good idea. Whoa, I just thought of that. So this little scale that I got, Stan Reed was telling me to grab this. Where is it? And I'll see the difference between the weight shifted like that. You know, why not? Why not see, you know, what this does? Still can't open this package. Every time I try to open this thing. There we go. All right, let's try that. Let's see what happens here. So on. So right now, let it zero out. And I'll just lift up the front end. I don't even know if this is how it's going to work, but lift up the front end and then just let it settle down. So it's fluctuating all over the place. Why is it doing that? Why is it fluctuating so much? can't for the life of me. Why is it fluctuating? It's probably not the way to do this, but... So let's just like say, what is that? 2... Why is it fluctuating? So let's just say 268, all right? So then I'll just back it off. I'll undo that strap so that way I won't move the car. Now I'll shift that battery weight forward to where it sits in the car, and we'll see the difference. Because right there, that's where it sits in the car. Now, let's see what the difference is. That's a good amount of difference. So that might be something to try. You know? I think I'll try that. I think I'll shift that pack so that it's sitting on my shock tower. Why not? It's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, I think that's the ticket. So that was... There's a change to try. Dude, I'm just reaching and grabbing at anything. I'll do anything that goes against, like, the grain. Do you know what I mean? It's probably going to be wrong, but I'll still try it. Why not? 351 grams versus whatever the other one was. So I had 351 with the pack sitting at its on the front end. So on front, pack forward. On front, pack forward, or pack like saddled into its thing. That was 351. And I don't know if that's going to make a difference. But why not at least try it? You know what I mean? I'll run it like this. The way it's set up, I won't touch anything other than changing out the tires and wheels. Leave the suspension as is, no shims, no nothing. Then I'll take that pack and I'll just shift it to the back and see what happens, just to see. Why not? You know what I mean? Try it. Try something different. Glutton for punishment. 351 grams. And what was it before? CT Chris, what's going on, man? Hey, if you were going to change your name, what would you change it to? Because you're pretty much known as CT Chris now. Dude, for a tiny, that's awesome, man. I'll literally put that on there. CT Chris F. For a tiny 3S, for a tiny high C3S battery. Dude, I'll do it. That's awesome. But what do you guys think? Like, let's say, I hate to say it this way, but I don't though. So there is somebody in here that has been doing this kind of stuff, not only in just RC. Earl doesn't just do RC stuff. Earl used to race cars too. So I don't mean plastic toy models. We're talking about real cars. So he's got a very good understanding of things. So Earl, just out of curiosity, what's going on? What am I missing? Get a length of aluminum or light timber and lay it across the scales and tear off. Oh, I get what you're saying. Oh, that's right. And do the front wheels. Right. So that's what that tear is, huh? It's to reset it with something on it so it zeroes whatever you have out. So like if I was going to put like a plate on it, zero it out, and then whatever I would put on it. All right, 200% sure that's the main issue. What's the main issue? Of my car or somebody else's? Okay. I know your glasses are the best alignment tools, but really try and measure out the alignment. It makes trust me, I do know. I'm not listening to you. But I feel in my head once I get my car to that point, then like I had said, I am going to download that app, that Bubble app, and I will check things. The only thing that I was hesitant about was I was so confused about the toe alignment, that part that you did. Because that means that the car has to stay 100% stationary. You can't move it. And then when you drew your lines, like dot to dot to the front, dot to dot to the rear, what I didn't understand was that the GPS was holding that like that line in the air. So that's the only thing that I didn't understand on that. I totally get the bubble level. That totally makes sense. The other thing that I was confused about was using the bubble level. Does that account for is there any tire bulge at the bottom, an appreciable like difference when it's at weight? Kind of almost doesn't look like it does. Because that was something that I wondered too. Because do you know what I mean? Because obviously you're not going on the rim, and you kind of, I don't know, man. With how off some of these things are, there's so much. Like the best part about waking up is COVID in your cup. No. So the best part about having, these little GoPros, like what we've seen, was that when I set my GoPro up, well, actually it wasn't my GoPro, it was my phone. I should use my GoPro. When you set it to that high frame rate, I slowed it down to 10%. It wasn't usable footage in the video, so I didn't even bother putting it in the video. But what I saw was as soon as that tire gave a twist, the suspension and the tire, it looks like it settled just the slightest amount. The tire actually, before the body even moved, the whole tire, meaning if you were to look at the axle nut, the whole tire shifted forward. Like all that slop that's in those pins and in the arms. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, and what is that doing? Because technically it's almost creating even more toe in the rear when that happened. Maybe it's not appreciable. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's still fun. It's still fun. You gotta pick your brain a little bit, but it's fun. You notice the front wheels are towed out and camber out on the camera. On my car or on yours, or Scott's? I use a measure tape, and the bubble level uses GPS signal because if I am at an angle, it won't care if only measure one point to another point, just like a measuring tape. Think I get. I'll just have to try it. I'll have to try it so I can understand. I'm more of a visual learner. You could probably tell me something 10 times and I won't get it. I actually have to see it and be able to ask questions. Do you know what I mean? That's probably why I never read books, because It doesn't, a book does not translate to my head. It has to be this. It has to be a hands-on thing. I wonder if that's why I did awesome in math. I did great in math and, for school, any kind of trade, because I went to trade schools. So any kind of trade, anything that was hands-on, I like A plus, like not even it was a no-brainer. But as soon as it came to like history and language arts, which is what they used to call it years ago, nah, that just, I had zero interest in any of that. Read a book? No thanks. Not interested. That's not gonna be my life. COVID in your cup, right? It's that Folgers song. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. So I had wanted to do a duet. Is COVID in your cup? It just sounded right. My wife just didn't want to do it because she was like, why would anybody want COVID in their cup? And I'm like, you just don't get it. That's not, nobody wants COVID in their cup. Oh my goodness. Use a normal measuring tape. That'll be right. Now be close. Do you think I should do it now? Want me to do it now? So first I gotta make sure obviously that it's straight. I have the slightest amount, because then like even the slop between the left and right wheels is like ridiculous. Right now I'm moving my left wheel and the right wheel's doing nothing. So I'll let it be at its rest. I'll go grab a tape measure right now. Actually, I have a nice straight edge that I can use. I'll get a straight edge and we'll see what the numbers are. Just out of curiosity. I haven't even done it. Live stream COVID. So I'll go get my nice straight edge. Sam, do you know where my ruler is? That nice blue one. Now, let's see. So this is in millimeters. So what I'll do is I'll go outside to outside, put it right on that bumper, try to line it up the best I can. I'm even going to use a light so I can make sure. That's a junk light. What point is that thing? That thing's a piece of garbage. Alright. So if I lay it here, and then I lay it on the chassis, it should be pretty much like the opposite. or pretty close. So actually, you know what? If I use my camera, guy, just download the damn Bubble app. If I use my camera, go into photo, I could probably see it better. So that is right there. So that's where it's sitting, right there, right on the edge. The arrow's pointing right at the edge of the tire. And then I'll go over to the other side, and I'll do the same thing, take a picture. Oops, why did it do that? Now, right like that. So then, on this side, it looks like we're at 246 millimeters is my guess, just by like looking at that. I mean, it's close enough, right? So 246 millimeters in the front. And then as long as I very carefully, as long as I very carefully lift this up and don't move nothing, take it and stick it on the back here. Oh, of course it's moving. It won't sit on the chassis. Actually, it kind of will. If I go right there. So that's right on that tread. Same thing on that side. If I go over all the way to that end, I'm going to try and take a picture of it, because I'm at the edge of the tread on that side, and then I'm at, come on, stop moving. Come on. Stop moving. Let's try this again. So I had it zeroed out here, right on that tread line. Am I on the tread line? What's going on with this? What? What do you mean it's being used by another app? Come on. See, I'm not good with all this garbage. All right, how about if we do this? We light that up. We'll put it in record mode. That way it'll turn on, right? That didn't even turn on. Flash on. Focus. Focus on there. All right. I'll go to that first tread line, which is right there. And I'll look at this side. So tread line to, come on. Tread line to tread line. I'm looking at. It looks like it's exactly 240 tread line to tread line. So outer tread line to inner tread line, right? Exactly 240. So then on the back, if I can do the same, I really wish it wasn't sitting on that. So I'll go tread line, which is literally right there. Stick my pen in there maybe. Will that help? Nope. Tread line. Why is it off? Ah, the damn servo. Stinking servo's in the way. All right. So let's see. Focus. So tread line right there, zeroed out. to tread line over here. I have got, come on, light it up. Light it up. So it looks like tread line to tread line. Come on, focus. Right there. To right there. 243, so I'm towed in. So I'm towed in the front slightly. But then is that literally the slop? I don't know. Pretty damn close. I mean, I know that's probably going to go the other way. But whatever. With the bent front wheel. Right. Because it's this one right here. That's pretty bad. That's a beautiful thing. That's what that heat gun's for. This one's mint. That one spins nice. Even on camera, that looks good. But on this one, yeah, that's garbage. So it's like we're talking about all this like craziness with adjustments and trying to make things, straight and there's so much just because this is an RC, not $1,000, I don't even know if $1,000 race vehicle would make any difference, but it's that I almost wonder if they should have, because what we call things usually when it's better, we call it hobby grade, right? So is there such a thing as professional hobby grade? I'm betting there is. Probably professional hobby grade is literally when you upgrade stuff. Like probably those hub things that I got, maybe that's like considered the professional hobby grade. These things. So these are probably professional hobby grade. And putting that in my hands, that's the wrong grade. So, yeah, it looks like I have to do a little bit. Right, a squared up RC will go straight, yeah. Camber looks out. Get your 90-degree angle square. Check that. Okay. I'll get that. Oops, why is that flashing? I get my carpenter square. this is my team associated. Whoops, you guys were just looking at a wall. This is my team associated carpenter square. So now, the only thing we don't know is my countertop a level surface? Is it flat? So, let's see. Does that make a difference? No, that tire's fine. So at rest, this is where I'm at rest. So that's where I am at rest, right there. And obviously, if I bring it down till it hits, so right, I think right there, it's at rest. Right like that. And then we'll check the other side. But see, here's the other thing too. Look at the amount of slop that I've got. So I literally, all I did was just move it. Because of how much slop there is anyway. So maybe just let it hit is probably what needs to happen, right? So let it hit, and I'll try to get like the straightest line here. Alignment. It's right there. And on the other side, let it settle normally. Like that. Get all the sand out of here. This side looks worse. Yeah. That side's way worse. It's not bad though. I mean, I feel that that's pretty damn good. You know? But what would the remote, are you talking to me? Make both sides the same? Yeah, I think it is the same. So that's just literally just settled down. As far as like the remote being on, that won't change the, hold on. I don't know if you're talking to me. Are you talking to me? Yeah, steering is exactly where it should be. So on this side, for some reason I can't get it straight here. So right to where it hits the very bottom of the tire, right center lined with the axle nut. It just touches the tire right there. That's what we're looking at for the right side. Get this pen out of there. What we're looking at for the left side, it's even. You know what I mean? Left to right, at least that's even. You keep shaking. I didn't move the car now, though. The car is fine now. So I'm just right along that axle nut. You can see I'm right at the axle nut right there. It's on the center. So that's what I've got. You can see it's just touching the tire right at the very bottom. Just tipping it. Check the rear. All right. So all right. So, and when I do that, I'll just kind of lift up on the center and then just let it, and make sure that there's nothing messed up in the front. And I'll just lift up on the back. Battery is kind of messed up. lift up on the back, and now just let it sit. Just like that. So on this side, on that tire, take that and move that in. Just to right when it hits. You can see right at the very bottom, I think. Right? Like that. Almost seems like that bottom is sticking out a little bit. Something wrong with my... No. So my question is my tire flattening out a little bit on that bottom? Am I getting a little bit of bulge on that bottom? Right there. So if I lift this up, see that? See how it is flattening out just the slightest amount under its own weight? So we'll put that lined up with the thing there. And that's what we're looking at. Right, I think right there is what we're looking at. Push it down. To where it would get power, right? Because obviously right about there is probably the max that it's going to get anyway. So I'll push that in. Right like that. I think that's what you're looking for. Touching on the bottom. Bringing it up. Trying to keep that tire like as level on the face as possible. And then on the other side, haven't touched the car. Slide that in. Right till it hits. And try to get it. And then you said just push it down. I think right about there. Let's move it on the other side. Check that now. This side definitely looks like it does have a little bit more. Yeah, this side definitely does. But I wonder, now it's this wheel too, though. It's this wheel that's bent. So if I... Let's see. So with that wheel being bent, that also doesn't help. There's too much slop anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at all the slop in this. I'm not trying to move the chassis. Look at that. That's so much slop. Typical, you know what I mean? Typical of a RC car. So I feel like, I don't know, I probably could tip my wheels out just a little bit more. Maybe. Because like what you were saying on the launch. But that's the whole point of me getting rid of those. And putting these on too. So if I put these on, that's going to drop those link arms down. At least I think they do. One-eighth motor shims? Yeah. Now where are you getting your shims from? Pushed it down under power? I get what you're saying. That's why it's pulling left? Right now it's pulling left though because my tire's so bad, right? Right. Put the toe alignment parts in first. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but by eye, is that not bad by eye? Granted, that's probably garbage. And here's the other thing too that I noticed about my car. When I push down on the center of the wheelie bar, I get more right side shock action. I get more right side dip, like when I just touch it in the middle. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the whole right side of the car is dipping down than the left side. You know what I mean? Can you see how the right side is dipping down first and then the left side catches up? I was thinking that it was, how can I do this so you can see what I'm talking about? See, even when I do it like that, you can't see it. So it seems like the spring tension, maybe on my right-hand side, the spring tension on my right is weaker than maybe my left. I thought it was binding, but it doesn't seem like it's binding. So if I throw one of those real small, tiny shims in that side, it would probably help that. It would give it a little bit more spring tension to hopefully compensate for the bad spring rate. Maybe that's why they put so many shims in it, because they knew it was bad. But even still, right? Still, it's RTR. But do you think I was close by doing it with my glasses? Or no? Probably not. Seeing it the way it is right now. With the squat. Yeah, I should adjust those out a little bit. Beautiful up in Maine today. Is that where you are? You're up in the northern country there? Right. Adding a shim will fix that, right? Yeah. I gotta get to the hobby store and see what they've got for rims. Be nice to get out anyway. Get out and go for a drive somewhere. So you said motor shims? I doubt the hobby store even has that stuff. Stuck in work all day? Justin O'Neill, yeah. Well, they opened up, they're doing that phased opening in Massachusetts right now. You guys have probably seen it on the news. Not like California where they just open the floodgates and allow Corona to spread. Everybody packing into the beaches, coughing on each other, sharing each other's drinks. Release that COVID out into the open. Like I said, this is still fun. I definitely want to try shifting my battery pack though, like that. Just want to see what happens. You know what I mean? I just want to see. Oh, there's that bubble. Here, now you can see the bubble in my rear wheel. It's perfectly set up right now. So there's the tire. When I roll it forward, there's the bubble. Right there. See that? Boom. Man, that tire profile is horrible. And then here it comes. There's the bump. Right there. It's bubbled up right here. And I thought it feels like it feels like it's the foam. It literally feels like right here something is going on with the foam. Right there. It does. It actually feels like it's balled up. Because then it all of a sudden disappears like not to nothing, but right here. Right there in the tire. Right where that hump is. It's like a harder feeling. Yeah, right there. Yeah, the foam bunched up. Yeah, that's garbage, man. Yep. Yeah, I don't even know how that happened. Look at that. Look at that. See, there's a flat spot. Yeah, the foam is definitely, like you said, foam is definitely bunched up right there inside. What if there's a way to like massage that out or something? Probably not. Probably pointless to waste my time with these tires. These things are getting kind of thin anyway. Time to change tires. The foam in Proline and Hoosiers are way better. All right. All right, I am going to jump off this live stream. I'm going to head over to the Reckless Hobbies in Wareham. I'm going to see if they have the stuff I need. Hopefully they do. If they have other compounds of tires, maybe I'll just get them all in there. But I have a feeling that they don't because he was having some issues with deliveries. So, but I'll try it anyway. I may be forced to get those J Concept wheels. The only reason why I didn't want to do that was just because of being cheap. Gluing on a set of tires and wheels, that basically that's it. Your tires and wheels are stuck on that rim and that's it. So, I don't know. I did want to get those bead locks just for that reason, so that I could swap out tires easier and not have to, incur unnecessary, I feel, expense. But then again, I don't know, man. Maybe having a couple of sets of wheels and tires all set up, different compounds, maybe that is the way to go. I don't know. Do I think that I'll continue in doing this drag racing stuff? Yeah, I actually do. I'm having a blast, man. And like I said, it's definitely a learning experience on so many different levels where when you're driving on dirt, at least the type of driving that I do, not a racer, none of this matters. You just pull the trigger and rip it left and right. That's it. Hit a jump. Don't hit a tree. You know what I mean? Don't hit a brick wall. Don't hit a mailbox. But with this, definitely a different type of learning. And I'm taking it all in. I am. And I definitely appreciate the help. See everyone later. You're going faster. Right. The wheels all set up in different compounds work on all drag. Right. Right. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I should do it that way. Yeah, RC Odyssey, no problem, man. Again, it's just it's learning, and I'm all for it. I'll be that sponge, but a lot of it's hands on. A lot of it for me is trying to figure it out, and then obviously it's great when you get to that barrier and you're wondering the whys. If you haven't got like your next thought or your next step, it's always good to have somebody else that knows what they're doing to say, hey, why don't you do this, or why don't you try that? That's what's great about this. That people aren't all here just to bash other people for, seemingly being an idiot or whatever. Some people are that way, and that's the way they are, and maybe that will take them far in their life. But most of the majority of the people, at least I feel like everybody that's on, at least here, nobody is about putting somebody down. So far, what I see is everybody's about, hey, that's pretty cool, or try this, or check that. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should be. Helping each other out. Just like I said, with all this COVID junk that is still present, help each other out. I'm accepting the help. I still am a little hard-headed though, because I still want to do my stuff my way. But eventually, when I expend all my brain power, which isn't much, once I expend all that, it is good to be able to have somebody that's been there, done that, to say, hey, switch that, try that, change this, change that. As a matter of fact, just take your whole damn car, throw it away, start over fresh, or send it to my house. I'll fix it for you. That'll never happen. All right, so I'm out of here. I wanted to thank, obviously, all the backers for today. We had Jack Brazier, Mitchell's RC, Earl Moorhead, CT Chris, and it's another good COVID and coffee. I want to be ripping this thing more than going to the parts store, but maybe if I go to the parts store once and get a couple of things instead of just getting like a tire and a wheel, maybe that will help. Because I could have moved on with this thing if I had already had my rims, but I was just dragging my feet. So anyways, thank you guys for coming to this COVID and coffee. I'm out of here. Just going to jump into the chat real quick. We got Justin O'Neill, Amped RC, Golden Goose Gaming, Rift to the Raft, Earl Moorhead, Michael Dyke, Eric Vale. I think I did say Justin O'Neill. Yes, I did. And RC Odyssey, Scruffy Page, and James George. Seems like the phones. I don't know, man. I don't even know. I don't know. Obviously, when you buy something that, like what Earl said, you it's just like regular everything. If you go to Walmart and you buy Walmart's generic, does it pass? Yeah. But if you buy the name brand, will it last longer? Probably. When you're buying a Proline tire, that's what they do. They're like the automotive specialty. So like, I don't know, just like with anything, spend the extra couple of bucks, get the better performing product. This is RTR. This was made to go, in my own opinion, on 2S and do fine. It probably did great on 2S. That's my guess. Probably did great. I don't know. I was never going to find out. So, all right. I'm out of here. I think I said everything to everybody. Scuffy. Did I call you Scuffy again? Did I call you Scuffy by accident? It is Scruffy. It's Scruffy Page, not Scuffy, but I keep messing that up. Scruffy, right. All right. Speed equals money. How fast you want to go. Yeah, because obviously when you're pushing, you're pushing everything. And I'm pushing it. I'm pushing on both aspects. I'm pushing it here because I want to force the car to do something that probably it can't do, but I still want to try it. I'm still gonna try it because I won't be able to sleep at night if I don't. I'm still gonna throw this spool in because that's what I want to do. That's the whole point of this hobby. Try everything and anything. Just do it. Like I always say, get out there and rip it. I'm serious. Get out there and have some fun. Don't be afraid to even maybe take your own like real car, do a burnout in it, right? A little one, just a little one. Maybe not every car can do it, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Every once in a while, you gotta blow the cobwebs out of the exhaust. Spiders and stuff, they live in there. And every once in a while, nice and easy. Make sure you're safe. Do it in your driveway. Do a burnout in your driveway. What's the harm in that? I'm not telling you to do it. Just if you've never done it, try it. It's a blast. Like this. The DR10 for me is a blast. It has been a very good decision on my part to go ahead and grab one of these. I've never drag raced before, and I'm loving it. So, all right, I'm out. I'm going to just swap this around. Keep saying I'm out. Keep saying all right. All right. All right, so I'm out of here. I may do another live again tonight as an update. We'll see. The live that I did last night, I was beaten. I'm still feeling a little tired from just stuff. So, but like I keep saying it, just get out there and rip it. So just do it. Just get out there and do it. Rip it. Stop wasting your time. If you want to try drag racing, just get a DR10. It's not that much, Are you going to have issues? Yes, you will, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Will it be some frustration for some? Maybe. Is it frustration for me? The only frustration part that I'm coming across is just not having the parts sometimes fast enough. Realizing that maybe I should have put a parts list together and done stuff. So, all right, I'm out. Thank you guys for coming to this live stream. COVID and Coffee. We'll do another one again shortly. We'll do maybe another live today. Get out there and rip it.